The throne room of Zyrith Prime trembled beneath my boots. As the alien queen rose from her obsidian dais, her wings shimmered like liquid silver, stretching wide enough to cast shadows across the entire hall. Ancient sigils glowed on the walls, pulsing like the heartbeat of a creature older than time itself. The air smelled of molten metal and drifting stardust. Every breath felt like fire sliding down my lungs. Warriors of her species stood on both sides, their blades charged with electric venom, their eyes watching me with hunger and curiosity and hatred. I stood alone, one human, wrapped in a torn combat suit, dust from 1,000 battlefields still clinging to my skin. My blood dripped onto the polished obsidian floor, but I kept my back straight, because humans stand, no matter the planet, no matter the enemy. The queen's voice vibrated through the chamber, a command, a melody, and a thread intertwined. You have defeated the trial of blades, human. You have crossed the chamber of storms. You have walked through fire that melts diamond. You have survived my royal guard. She descended her throne step slowly, each step echoing like thunder, through a world carved from the bones of ancient giants. Her eyes glowed gold, burning like twin suns. She studied me with the calm certainty of a being who had ruled empires for centuries and seen entire species rise and fall. Her tail curled behind her as she circled me, assessing my scars, my muscles, my defiant breath. As reward, she said, I grant you any woman of my empire, any bloodline, any warrior, any daughter. Choose. Her guard smirked. They expected me to beg, to tremble, to show weakness. Humans often appear small, until they see what we carry within. I lifted my chin. My heartbeat pounded like war drums. Even the floor hummed with tension, and I answered, my voice steady, clear, unshaken. I want you. The room froze. Every insect like warrior jolted upright. Weapons tightened in hands. Wings flicked in agitation. The queen stopped moving. Her slit-pupiled eyes widened, not with anger, but with something far more dangerous. Curiosity. She leaned close, her breath warm like plasma, her crown of silver thorns inches from my face. You desire your conqueror? Her voice vibrated in my bones. I stepped forward, not aggressive, not submissive. Human, I desire the one who challenged me, the one who stood unbroken, the one who looked into the void and did not step back. A whisper spread across the hall, like a ripple of electricity. The queen circled me again, but this time more slowly, as if she studied something she had never seen before. No human has spoken such words to me. I lifted my hand and placed it on my chest, right over my heartbeat. We are not like others. We fight storms. We defy fate. We tame worlds that once tried to kill us. And when we choose with fire. The queen's wings twitched. Her pupils dilated. Something ancient awakened behind her golden gaze. The chamber lights flickered, as if reacting to the tension growing between us. Her tail wrapped around my legs slowly, testing, probing, like a serpent deciding whether I was prey or equal. You should fear me, she whispered. Maybe, I said, but fear never stopped my species. It only taught us how to survive it. A throne guardian stepped forward, raising his electrified spear. Queen Zyra, this human insults. She snapped her gaze toward him, and the air ignited with silent power. The guard collapsed to his knees, choking. The queen had not raised a hand. She had simply decided. Her power rolled through the chamber, like a tidal wave. She stepped directly in front of me and placed her clawed hand on my jaw, the tips sharp enough to slice flesh, yet gentle enough not to break skin. Her touch sent sparks through my nerves. Human, she said softly, you do not understand what choosing me means. It means war with 1,000 alien houses. It means standing against my enemies. And your own, it means walking into galaxies that devour the unworthy. My voice did not waver. Good, let them come. A slow, dangerous smile curved her lips. A queen's smile, a predator's smile, And something else. Something she had never shown another being. Respect. She leaned closer, her forehead touching mine, her breath mingling with mine, her power crackling between us like a storm. Very well, human, she whispered. Let the universe tremble. The hall erupted with shouting, weapons being drawn, wings unfurling, guards preparing for war, against their own queen's decision. But she raised one hand, and silence shattered the noise instantly. Her wings spread wide, casting the room into darkness. You all will bow, she commanded, to the human who has chosen his fate, for he shall walk beside me. Shock, rage, fear, obedience, all mixed into one storm of emotion that rolled across the room like thunder. I stood in the center, bleeding, exhausted, and yet unbroken. The queen turned toward me again, her voice low and electric. Your journey does not end here, human. You have only taken your first step. Her claws wrapped gently around my hand, pulling me toward the throne's hidden passage. The floor trembled. The shadows shifted. A deeper, more ancient power stirred beneath the palace. Every instinct screamed caution. Every sense sharpened. The air grew colder. The light dimmed. Something enormous awakened in the depths. The queen whispered in my ear, if you truly want me, then follow, and survive what comes next. The hidden passage swallowed us whole. Stone walls shimmered with faint glyphs, pulsing in rhythm of my heartbeat. I could feel the raw energy of the palace beneath my feet, an ancient current that whispered secrets older than the stars themselves. The queen's hand was firm but not constraining, guiding me deeper into darkness. Her wings, folded now, brushed my shoulders lightly, sending a tingling shiver down my spine. Every step echoed. Every breath felt amplified. This is the path of trials, she murmured, her voice a melody and a warning in one. No human has ever survived it entirely. Few creatures of my race have returned. I swallowed hard. Humans survive impossible odds. That was our nature, our gift, and I had chosen her. Then I will survive it, I said, voice firm, unwavering. Her golden eyes gleamed. A faint smile curved her lips. Bold, she said. Humans are bold in ways that are dangerous, admirable. The corridor opened into a cavernous hall, lit by floating orbs of amber light. The air was thick with energy, and I could feel something watching, something massive. Shadows moved along the walls, shapes that twisted and writhed, almost alive. Be ready, she whispered. The first challenge does not forgive hesitation. Without warning, the floor beneath us split apart. A vortex of green fire roared from the abyss, pulling at everything around it. Creatures emerged, tall, skeletal beings with elongated limbs, eyes glowing like molten steel. The queen released my hand and leapt forward, wings unfurling, claws slicing through the air. I drew my plasma blade. The weapon hummed, resonating with the chamber's energy. The skeletal creatures lunged. Time slowed as I danced through the chaos. Every strike I made had to be precise. Miss once, and I would fall into the abyss below. I dodged a swipe that could have cleaved a ship in half. I parried another blow that sparked against my blade, lighting the cavern in brief, explosive flashes. The queen moved beside me like a force of nature, every motion fluid, lethal. Her claws tore through enemies effortlessly, her wings creating gusts that sent others flying. I realized then fully why humans survived. We adapted. We learned in the moment. We evolved under pressure. One creature lunged at her from behind. I reacted instinctively, diving forward, slashing the creature across the chest. It shrieked and disintegrated into ash. Her eyes met mine. Human, she said, you fight with courage, yes, but also strategy. You are not reckless. A wave of pride surged through me. The creatures fell one by one, but the vortex of green fire churned, signaling this was only the beginning. The trial is not over, she warned, scanning the hall. A series of platforms rose from the fiery chasm, shifting and rotating, forming a bridge across the abyss. Cross, she commanded, without falling. The platforms were narrow, slick with molten energy, glowing with unstable power. I felt the heat radiate up through my boots. My pulse quickened. Humans cross rivers of fire and glaciers alike. We do not stop. I stepped onto the first platform. It tilted beneath my weight. I leapt to the next, balancing with every ounce of strength. A creature lunged from below, stretching impossibly long arms to snatch me. I rolled midair, blades slicing through the arm, sparks scattering. The queen watched silently, wings folded but eyes blazing gold. I moved faster, my muscles screaming, my lungs burning. The final platform hovered over the vortex itself. The heat was unbearable. The smell of ozone and sulfur filled my nostrils. I jumped. Time slowed. I soared over the abyss, feeling the raw pulse of the vortex beneath me, threatening to devour everything. I landed, sliding to a stop, barely keeping my balance. The queen was already there. "Impressive," she said, her voice low. "Few survive the path of fire. Few even try." I looked down at the swirling green fire below us. "Humans do not fear the impossible," I said, chest heaving. She tilted her head, a predator intrigued by her prey, but not intending to kill. "Perhaps you are different," she whispered. The next chamber opened into a vast hall of mirrors. Each mirror reflected not just my image, but 1,000 possible futures, 1,000 possible failures. "These are illusions," the queen said. "They will show you what you fear most." Many humans break here. Few emerge unchanged. The mirrors began to shift, rearranging into impossible angles, creating labyrinths. I could see myself failing. I could see the universe crushing me under impossible odds. My hand shook. My breath caught. Then I remembered her. I remembered the choice I had made. I remembered that humans do not surrender. "I do not fail," I muttered, stepping forward. The illusions tried to overwhelm me. Visions of death, despair, and betrayal surged from the mirrors. One showed the queen turning against me, claiming I was unworthy. Another showed my body disintegrating in alien fire. I focused on my heartbeat. I focused on the reality beneath my feet. I focused on the warmth of her hand I had felt moments ago. And I walked through the illusions, step by step, each one fading as I ignored it, each one bowing to human will. The queen followed silently. When I emerged, she looked at me differently. Her eyes glowed brighter. Her wings stretched in silent approval. "You are stronger than any I have faced," she said. "Stronger than most of my kind. Stronger than some gods." The next trial awaited. The Garden of Beasts. The garden floated in zero gravity. Enormous creatures tethered to nothing, suspended like constellations. Their scales shimmered like molten gemstones. Their eyes burned with intelligence and hunger. "You must pass without angering them," she said. "Many die because they try to fight when they should think." The first creature approached, a serpent with 3 heads, each spitting searing plasma. I crouched, studying its pattern, its rhythm, its intelligence. Humans do not rely on strength alone. We observe, adapt, and outthink. I rolled to the side as its plasma shot past, jumped onto a floating rock, and guided the serpent through a subtle trap of my own making. A snare from gravitational energy I manipulated with the environment. It roared confused, then slithered away, unharmed but restrained. The queen's gaze followed every move. "Clever," she whispered. "Humans have a mind for survival as much as a body for war." Creatures of all sizes surrounded us. Each step required strategy. Each breath was a calculation. Each motion carried life or death. I moved with precision, intelligence, and raw instinct. By the time I reached the other side, dripping sweat, lungs burning, heart pounding like a drum of war, every beast remained alive, and I remained unscathed. The queen extended her hand. "You have passed the garden," she said. "You are human in every way I respect and fear. But the universe does not end here. It only grows darker." A ripple of energy surged through the hall. A portal appeared before us, swirling black with tendrils of silver lightning. A realm unknown, a place where stars died before birth. "Through here," she said, "lies your final trial. If you survive, you may walk beside me as an equal, Fail, and the universe forgets you instantly. I stared at the portal. My body screamed to turn back. My mind warned me of certain death. Then I looked at her. Her golden eyes locked with mine. Her wings shimmered. Her aura radiated impossible power. I thought of every human who had ever stared down the impossible, every battle we had fought across worlds and centuries. Then let the universe remember, I said. She smiled, a dangerous, beautiful, terrifying smile. She took my hand. We stepped into the portal together. The stars themselves seemed to explode around us, cosmic winds tearing through our bodies. But neither of us faltered. We fell through dimensions unknown, past suns that died in silence, past planets alive with impossible life, past creatures that defied imagination and reason. And I felt it, the true test of humanity. Not just strength, not just courage, not just intelligence, but the will to survive, the will to rise, the will to face the impossible, and claim it as your own. The Queen's hand tightened around mine. Her presence, her power, her essence filled me with a courage I did not know I had. And I realized this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, dangerous, and alive. But humans were eternal. The portal spat us out into a void unlike anything I had ever known. A black expanse stretched infinitely, pierced by shards of dying stars that floated like shattered glass. The air, or whatever passed for air here, was thick with energy. Every inhale tasted like static, like ozone mixed with molten iron. The Queen hovered beside me, her wings splayed like a cathedral of silver light, brushing against nothingness. Few enter this realm ever return, she said, her voice echoing across the void like distant thunder. Many lose themselves in the madness of its gravity, in the illusions of its power. I tightened my grip on the hilt of my plasma blade. Then I will not return broken, I said. I will survive and prove that humans belong anywhere, even here. She tilted her head, a predator amused and intrigued. Bold words. Let's see if you can live by them. Suddenly, the void shifted. Stars ripped themselves from the darkness and spun around us in violent orbits. Gravity pulled us in every direction at once, threatening to crush, tear, and devour. I planted my boots on a fragment of rock floating in the void. The Queen mirrored me, landing lightly beside me. Her wings stirred the currents of cosmic wind, keeping us tethered to the fragments. From the shadows of the void, shapes began to emerge. Massive, writhing forms, their bodies like blackened smoke with jagged, crystalline spines. Eyes, dozens, hundreds, glowed in colors that should not exist. They circled us, hungry and curious, ancient predators from a universe before ours. I felt a primal instinct ignite within me. Humans do not cower. We adapt. We fight. We survive. One beast lunge, its maw open impossibly wide, filled with energy tendrils that lashed out like whips. I rolled to the side, plasma blades slashing to the nearest tendril. Sparks danced, lighting the void with violent bursts. The Queen struck the creature from above, claws raking its crystalline hide. It shrieked, a sound that vibrated through my bones and recoiled. I leapt to a floating shard, kicking off debris to launch myself at another tendril. The void challenged every sense. Every movement required instinct and thought in perfect balance. I had never felt so alive. The Queen's voice cut through the chaos. Humans are fragile, yet you are unbreakable. You are unique. A massive shockwave threw us apart. I tumbled through the void, spinning, reaching for fragments to stabilize myself. One of the void beasts lunged from above. I twisted midair, thrusting my blade into a soft joint beneath its crystalline armor. It howled and slammed into a fragment, shattering it into dust. I landed on another shard just as another predator emerged, even larger than the first. Its wings, vast, shadow, and impossible, stretched across the void like a storm. Its claws could have crushed a moon. Its gaze burned like a dying sun. I felt my chest tighten. I could die here. I could fail. But I was human, and humans do not stop. I analyzed the creature, studying its movements, its patterns. Then I acted. I drew a line with my plasma blade, cutting a path across the floating debris to create a trap. The creature lunged blindly. I twisted midair, pulling a fragment into its trajectory. It slammed into the shard, caught off guard, wobbling in the void's gravity. The queen's claws struck with precision, targeting its eyes. The beast roared and retreated into the darkness. I exhaled sharply, adrenaline coursing through every vein. The queen landed lightly on a shard next to me, her wings folding. "You are a remarkable human," she said. "Few beings survive even a minute here, and you have outlasted the first wave." I nodded, sweat and cosmic energy coating my skin. "This is nothing. Humans thrive in impossible conditions. We are proof that the universe underestimates us at its own peril." Her eyes glimmered, gold and infinite. "Your confidence is rare, admirable, dangerous." We advanced deeper into the void, each step more dangerous than the last. Floating ruins emerged, remnants of civilizations that had once ruled galaxies, now shattered, abandoned, and haunted by energy that pulsed with memory. I felt whispers brush my mind, promises and threats from 1,000 dead species. They tested my resolve, tried to tempt me with despair, with fear, with surrender. I shut them out. I thought of every human who had ever faced the impossible. I thought of firestorms, alien worlds, collapsing starships, and endless war. I thought of the planet that had raised me. I thought of the queen beside me. "I will not fail," I said aloud. The queen watched me with a mixture of awe and caution. "Perhaps you will teach my race something about the human spirit," she murmured. Then the ground, or what passed for ground here, shifted beneath us. A massive monolith rose from the ruins, blacker than void itself, radiating power. It had no doors, no windows, no sign of reason, only a single, pulsating orb of energy suspended above it. "The heart of the void," the queen whispered. "Everything here revolves around it. Conquer it, and you survive. Fail, and you are erased from existence." I stared at the orb. It throbbed like a heartbeat, pulling at my mind, tugging at my fears, my hopes, my memories. "How?" I asked. "You must approach," she said, "and the heart will test you. Every fear, every doubt, every weakness. It will strip you bare. Only then can you pass." I stepped forward, boots striking the floating debris. The orb pulsed violently, sending waves of force that threatened to tear me apart. I gritted my teeth. Humans face storms, collapse, enemies, and worse, and we endure. I stepped closer. The orb reacted, pulling at my mind, forcing visions into my skull. I saw myself crushed by alien warships. I saw planets explode beneath my feet. I saw the queen betray me. I saw humanity wiped from the stars. Every fear, every possibility, every impossible outcome played out in vivid, crushing detail. My vision blurred. My knees threatened to buckle. I wanted to scream, to collapse, to give up. Then I remembered why I chose her. "I am human," I whispered, voice trembling but steadying. "And humans do not give up. We survive. We fight. We endure. And I will not be broken." The orb shuddered. A blinding light engulfed me. I felt every fiber of my being stretched to the breaking point. And then nothing. When my eyes opened, the orb was still. The heart of the void pulsed once. Slowly. I had passed. The queen stepped beside me, her expression unreadable. "Few have endured that test," she said softly. "Fewer have emerged unchanged. You have exceeded even my expectations." I felt my muscles relax, my mind clearing. Adrenaline and triumph surged through me. "Then let the universe know," I said, "that humanity stands where others fall. We are not weak. We are not small. We are proof that courage, strength, and intelligence can defy the impossible." She smiled, a dangerous, radiant smile. "Perhaps you will walk beside me, human, not as a subject, not as a servant, but as an equal, a partner, a force." Before I could answer, the void quaked violently. A new presence emerged from the darkness. A creature of pure gravity, its form impossible to comprehend, pulling stars and planets into its orbit like toys. The queen tensed. I tightened my grip on my blade. It begins, she whispered. The final trial is not over. It will test not just your body, human, but your very soul. I took a deep breath. Humans face impossible odds. We thrive where others perish. We endure, we fight, we conquer. And I had chosen her. I stepped forward into the storm of stars, ready to prove that even in the most dangerous reaches of the universe, humans are unmatched. The queen followed, wings unfurling like silver lightning, her golden eyes fixed on me. "Show me human," she said. "Show me the strength that made you choose me." And I did, because humans do not falter. Humans do not surrender. Humans survive. And the universe had yet to see what we were capable of. The void around us pulsed and twisted, and I could feel the heart of the void watching, testing, probing. Every star, every shard of matter, every echo of ancient power seemed to whisper, "Will this human stand? Will this human endure?" I stepped forward, the queen at my side, and for the first time, I felt the true weight of what it meant to be human in an infinite, hostile universe. Fear roared inside me. Adrenaline screamed. But above it all, a fire burned. A fire that no alien, no god, no force of the universe could ever extinguish. Humanity burns brightest in the dark. And I was ready to prove it. The darkness shifted again. I saw a city floating in the void, black towers glowing with purple fire. Creatures, billions of them, stirred within the city walls. Each one a threat, a puzzle, a test. The queen whispered in my ear, "Beyond that city lies the final trial. Survive it, and you may walk beside me as my equal. Fail, and even your legend ends here." I gritted my teeth. Humans survive where others die. We conquer where others fear. I stepped forward into the city of nightmares, ready to face what no human had ever faced. And the universe trembled. The city loomed before us, suspended in the void like a shard of nightmare. Its towers jagged and black, veins of purple fire coursing like blood through its walls. Every spire seemed alive, pulsating with a rhythm that matched the beating of 1,000,000 hearts, alien and ancient. The ground, or what passed for ground here, was a lattice of obsidian bridges and floating platforms, suspended over a chasm that seemed endless. I could feel the weight of 1,000,000,000 eyes upon me, watching, calculating, waiting for the first sign of weakness. The queen hovered beside me, her wings folding close to her body. Her golden eyes scanned the city, reading its defenses, its traps, its predators. She whispered, "Humans are fragile, but you are more dangerous than even I expected. Remember, your mind is your greatest weapon." I swallowed, tightening my grip on my plasma blade. The weapon hummed, resonating with the energy of the city. "Then let's make them remember," I said. I stepped forward onto the first platform. The surface was slick, almost alive, writhing beneath my boots. I leapt to the next, floating debris shifting as if it resented my presence. From the shadows between towers, creatures emerged. Quadrupeds with crystalline limbs, serpentine necks tipped with glowing eyes, and insectoid predators whose jaws could snap steel like glass. I did not hesitate. Humans adapt. Humans fight. Humans endure. I slashed through the nearest creature with a precise strike, plasma blade singing through the air. Another lunged at me from above. I rolled aside, thrusting my blade into its flank, sparks cascading like fireworks. The queen struck beside me, her claws tearing through another predator with terrifying grace. Her wings brushed the platforms, sending smaller creatures flying into the void. "You learn quickly," she whispered, her golden eyes glimmering. "Not just strength, but strategy. You are unlike any human I have faced." I smiled briefly, adrenaline surging. Humans survive by thinking, by adapting, by refusing to die. The creatures fell, but more appeared. From the towers, sentinels emerged, armored beings wielding weapons that shot beams capable of slicing through stone. The queen gestured, and I followed. "Use the environment," she said. "The city itself can be your weapon." I leapt onto a floating bridge, using my blade to cut a support cable. The platform collapsed under the weight of pursuing enemies, sending them plummeting into the chasm below. I advanced, pulse pounding, lungs burning. Every step required calculation. Every strike demanded precision. The queen moved beside me, wings folding and extending in a rhythm that deflected attacks and created openings. She whispered, "You are human. You think differently, act differently. That is why you survive where my warriors fail." I gritted my teeth. The city was a maze, alive with threats. And humans do not falter. A massive gate loomed ahead, flanked by creatures twice the size of the largest predators we had faced. Their eyes glowed with intelligence and malice. They moved with coordination, anticipating our every move. "We must distract them," the queen said. "I will draw their attention. Then you strike at their core." She leapt forward, claws flashing, wings slicing through the air. The massive beast turned, focusing on her, eyes burning with rage. I readied myself, scanning the gate. At the center, a glowing orb pulsed with energy, the city's heart. If I could strike it, destabilize it, the creatures might falter. I leapt from a floating platform, landing on the gate's arch. I dodged a swipe from one of the massive creatures, my body rolling with the precision of instinct honed over countless battles. I thrust my plasma blade into the orb. Energy flared, sending shockwaves through the gate and into the creatures. They screeched, staggering, claws thrashing wildly. The queen struck again, tearing through their defenses with unmatched grace. Together, we fought as one, human courage and alien power intertwined. But the city was not done. The towers began to shift, walls bending impossibly, corridors twisting and folding into themselves. Platforms moved, colliding, creating deadly gaps. The void below shimmered with energy, threatening to swallow us at every step. I leapt onto a moving platform, adjusting my trajectory midair. One creature lunged from the shadows, claws extended. I twisted, dodged, and slashed. Its crystalline armor shattered, falling into the void. The queen landed beside me, panting slightly, eyes never leaving the horizon. "The final trial approaches," she said. "The city itself is alive. It will test every aspect of your being. Only humans survive by defiance, by willpower, by something no other species possesses." I nodded. "Then let it come. I am human." We advanced deeper into the city. Corridors twisted impossibly, walls shifting like liquid, floors collapsing at random. Creatures emerged from every shadow, quadrupeds, serpents, insectoids, and horrors that defied comprehension. I moved faster than instinct alone. I thought, adapted, struck. Every strike was precise, every movement calculated. The queen moved beside me, her presence a constant force of lethal grace. Her golden eyes scanned the city, searching for threats I could not yet see. She whispered, "You are more than a fighter. You are a survivor. You are remarkable." The heart of the city awaited at the top of the tallest spire. I could feel its energy radiating, testing, probing. Each step toward was a trial in itself. Platforms collapsing, creatures attacking, energy fields tearing at my body. I adjusted, adapted, survived. When we reached the top, the heart pulsed violently, a swirling vortex of light and shadow. It projected visions of every possible failure, every fear I had ever faced. The queen stepped beside me, wings folding, claws poised. "This is it," she whispered. "Face it or be erased." I stared into the vortex. Visions of failure, betrayal, and death assaulted my mind. I saw myself crushed by alien titans. I saw the queen turning against me. I saw humanity destroyed. My knees threatened to buckle. My mind screamed to give up, but I remembered why I chose her. I remembered why I stood here. I remembered what it meant to be human. "I am human," I whispered aloud. "And humans do not give up. We survive. We fight. We endure." The heart pulsed violently, as if testing the truth of my words. I stepped forward, every muscle, every nerve, every fiber of my being focused. The visions assaulted me, trying to break my mind. But I endured. I fought back. I claimed my own destiny. The vortex exploded in light. Energy surged through the spire, through the city, through the void itself. The creatures screamed, staggering, retreating into the shadows. The city shuddered, then stabilized. I stood at the apex, breathing heavily. The queen landed beside me, her golden eyes glowing brighter than ever. "Few have passed the heart of the void," she whispered. "Fewer have emerged unchanged. You are extraordinary." I smiled faintly, chest heaving. Humans survive the impossible. We endure what others cannot. We rise when the universe falls silent. The queen extended her hand. "Then walk with me, human, not as a servant, not as a subject, but as an equal, a partner, a force the universe has never seen." I took her hand, feeling the surge of power and energy that radiated from her. "Together," I said, "we are unstoppable." The city below shuddered one final time, then settled into silence. The void around us pulsed with recognition, as if the universe itself acknowledged a new force. Humanity, unbroken, unyielding, and defiant. The queen looked at me, her golden eyes softening, her wings folding in quiet reverence. "You have proven what I suspected. Humans are unlike any other species. Your courage, intelligence, and resilience are unmatched." I looked out over the void, feeling the weight of infinite possibilities. "Then let the universe challenge us," I said. "We will rise to meet it, as humans always do." The queen nodded. "And together, human, we will shape it." We stepped off the spire into the void, moving as one, a force unstoppable, a power unbroken. A human and a queen standing against the impossible. We moved through the void like living storms, the queen and I, wings brushing cosmic dust, boots sparking against floating shards of collapsed worlds. The city behind us crumbled silently, shadows of what it once was dissolving into the darkness. Yet ahead, the void was not empty. Planets hung in impossible orbits, spinning in silent chaos. Asteroids cracked under their own gravity, splitting into smaller fragments, floating like deadly debris. And beyond them, an armada emerged, ships as large as moons, shaped like jagged teeth, bristling with weapons I could barely comprehend. The alien empire had noticed us. Their intent was clear: destroy. The queen's eyes narrowed, golden light reflecting in the void. "They recognize my presence," she whispered. "They will not relent. They will tear everything apart to claim me and you." I tightened my grip on my plasma blade. "Then let them come. Humans survive impossible odds. We adapt. We fight. We endure." Her wings unfurled, creating a hurricane of power. Energy radiated from her like a living sun, pushing the void back, holding us steady against the pull of a collapsing planet nearby. The lead ship of the alien armada launched a volley. Beams of violet energy sliced through the void, tearing asteroids apart before they even reached us. I leapt onto a floating shard, twisting midair to deflect a beam with my blade. Sparks exploded around me. Another shot tore through the void, and I rolled, narrowly avoiding the destructive wave. The queen moved beside me, claws ripping through a smaller fighter that had detached from the fleet. Its pilot did not survive the encounter. "Human," she said, her voice vibrating with power, "you will need more than courage here. You will need strategy, cunning, and the willingness to risk everything." I nodded. Strategy was human strength. Courage was human essence. Risk was human nature. The armada descended in formation, enormous vessels moving with terrifying precision, their weapons focused, energy building into colossal beams capable of tearing a moon in half. I realized the truth immediately. We could not fight them head-on. Not yet. Not without allies or preparation. "We need to strike their core," I said, scanning the largest vessel at the center of the formation. Its hull pulsed with strange energy, protected by shields that seemed unbreakable. "Take out the command ship, and the rest will scatter or falter." The queen's wings snapped open, reflecting golden light into the void. "Bold," she said, "but human logic is often effective. I approve. We strike, then survive." "Agreed." "Agreed," I said. We dove into the void, weaving between asteroids and debris, closing the distance to the command ship. Energy blasts tore past us, each one a near miss. The queen struck with precision, scattering fighters that attempted to flank us. I noticed a pattern in the fleet's movements, slight delays between beam discharges, timing I could exploit. I see a weakness. I shouted over the roar of cosmic wind. The beams fire sequentially. We can dodge and approach if we time it perfectly. She tilted her head, golden eyes narrowing in approval. Humans clever. Very well. Show me. I waited. A massive beam fired. I ducked, rolling across a floating asteroid. The next followed milliseconds later, missing. The timing was perfect. The path to the command ship opened. We surged forward. The ship's surface was alive with alien defense mechanisms. Blades had erupted from the hull, energy turrets rotating impossibly and strange, writhing creatures clinging to its sides like predators. I swung my plasma blade, cutting a path through the creatures. The Queen followed, her claws rending the hull, wings creating wind currents that tossed smaller defenders aside. We reached the command core. It was a sphere of pure energy, radiating a pulse that threatened to crush the very air around us. I could feel it probing my mind, testing me, seeking weakness. Focus, the Queen whispered. You are human. That is your strength. Your mind, your will. Do not falter. I channeled every ounce of focus. I calculated angles, trajectories, force. I struck the core with my plasma blade, energy flaring violently, throwing us back, spinning us across the void. The core shuddered. A ripple of destruction cascaded across the fleet. Shields collapsed. Weapons misfired. Ships collided in chaotic disarray. The alien armada faltered, their precision shattered by the singular will of a human and an alien queen. I landed on a floating fragment, breath ragged, body trembling but alive. The Queen joined me, golden eyes glowing brighter than any star in the void. Remarkable, she said. Few beings can do what you have done. Humans, you are a force I did not fully comprehend. Then let the universe witness. I said, that humans do not yield. We endure. We survive. We conquer. We press forward, moving through the scattered remnants of the Armada. The largest ship, still functional, twisted toward us, massive guns charging. I spotted a weak point, a conduit of glowing energy leading to the ship's main reactor. There, I said, pointing. That is the heart. Strike it and the rest will fall. The Queen nodded. Then let us end this. We launched ourselves at the reactor. Beams of energy tore past us, slicing the void into streaks of light. I dodged with precision, striking down any creature that attempted to block us. The Queen moved like a living storm beside me, claws tearing, wings generating gusts that scattered enemies. We reached the reactor. The energy pulsed violently, as if alive, resisting, testing our resolve. You fight not just with your body, the Queen said, but with your will. That is why you survive. That is why humans endure. I struck the reactor with my plasma blade. Energy erupted in a blinding flash, throwing us across the ship. The hull cracked. The ship trembled. The void roared. One final surge, one final strike. I plunged my blade into the heart. The reactor detonated. A shock wave tore through the void. Ship shattered. Energy tore apart the remnants of the Armada. Stars flickered. Planets shifted in their orbits. And silence fell. I looked at the Queen. She hovered beside me, wings folded, golden eyes scanning the destruction. You have done what few could even imagine, she whispered. You have proven that humans are extraordinary. I smiled faintly, chest heaving. Humans do not yield. We endure. We rise against impossible odds. We survive. The Queen extended her hand. Then walk with me, human, not as a subject, not as a servant, but as my equal, a partner, a force the universe has never seen. I took her hand, feeling the surge of energy that radiated from her, the power that had crumbled worlds, and yet the respect she gave me for choosing courage over fear. Together, I said, we are unstoppable. The void trembled around us. New threats lurked, galaxies shifting, cosmic storms forming. But we moved forward, united. A human and an alien queen, a force that defied expectation, a testament to courage, intellect, and resilience. The void had grown quiet. The shattered remnants of the alien armada drifted through the dark like dying comets. The stars blinked uncertainly, scarred from the energy storms and reactor explosions that had erupted across the expanse. For a moment, it felt as if the universe itself held its breath. The Queen and I hovered atop the floating remnants of the command ship, wings extended, plasma blade humming softly in my hand. I could feel the weight of everything we had survived. The trials, the heart of the void, the alien fleets, the impossible challenges no human had ever faced. And yet, I was not broken. I had chosen her. I had chosen this path, and I had survived. The Queen's golden eyes scanned the expanse before us. Her wings folded elegantly, and she tilted her head, a predator assessing not prey, but an equal. "You have done the impossible," she said softly. "Fought where others would perish. Survived trials that crush nations, species, empires. You have proven that humanity is extraordinary." I allowed myself a small breath, chest rising and falling with effort, with pride, with relief. "We endure," I said. "Humans endure. We rise, we survive, and we learn. Even when everything is stacked against us, we do not surrender. We do not break. We do not die quietly in the dark. We fight. We adapt. We conquer." She smiled faintly, a dangerous, radiant curve of lips that could command armies or crumble worlds. "And that is why I chose you," she said. "Not for your strength, not for your cunning, not for your survival alone, but because you embody everything that makes humans worthy of a universe itself. You are fearless, intelligent, and unpredictable. No one could anticipate your mind, your courage, your heart." I looked out at the void, at the scattered fleets, at the fractured stars. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable. Entire species had risen and fallen without leaving a trace. But humanity endured, and we would endure. "Then we build from here," I said, voice firm, "not just to survive, not just to conquer, but to shape the universe, to make it remember what it means to face the impossible and live." The Queen's wings stirred, reflecting golden light across the broken expanse. "A bold declaration, human," she said, "but one befitting your actions. Few beings have ever dared to speak as you do after facing the void itself." I lowered my blade, turning to her. "You offer me a choice," I said, "and I chose not the easy path, not the safe one. I chose you, and I chose the challenge, and I survived, because humans survive." She stepped closer, her talon-tipped claws gentle now as she placed a hand over mine. Her touch carried warmth, energy, and power, a reminder that she was more than a queen, more than a warrior. She was a force of nature, and she had chosen to recognize me as an equal. "Then walk with me, human," she said, "through the stars, through the galaxies, through the challenges yet to come. Together, we are a force no power in the universe can ignore." I nodded. The void was quiet, but it had not forgotten us. Every pulse of energy, every ripple of gravitational waves, every flicker of distant suns seemed to acknowledge our presence. We were human and alien, equal and united, standing atop the remnants of an empire and the echoes of countless deaths. "Let the universe remember," I said softly, almost to myself, "that humans do not falter. We do not break. We endure. We rise." The Queen's wings stretched, golden light spreading like dawn across the void. "Then it shall remember," she said. "From this day forth, wherever we walk, wherever humanity reaches, let them know you are not weak. You are not small. You are unstoppable." I felt it then, the truth of every trial, every challenge, every impossible fight we had endured. Humanity's strength was not just physical, not just mental. It was something deeper, something older than empires, something that no alien, no god, no ancient force could ever predict or destroy. It was our spirit, our resilience, our audacity, and it burned brighter than any star. The Queen extended her hand, this time not as a challenge, not as a test, but as an invitation to partnership, to unity. "Are you ready, human?" she asked. I looked at her, golden eyes reflecting stars, wings shimmering, power radiating like a sun. I have been ready my entire life, I said. I have fought storms, survived fire, outwitted death, and endured the impossible. And I choose to stand with you, not behind you, not below you, but beside you. Together, we are the future. Together, we are the stormy universe cannot ignore. She smiled, a dangerous, radiant curve that promised battles, victories, losses, and triumphs beyond comprehension. And she took my hand. The void shifted around us. Energy pulsed from distant stars, from shattered fleets, from the remnants of civilizations that had tried and failed. And yet we remained. We rose. We endured. Then let us leave our mark, she said, on every galaxy, every star, every world yet unborn. Let humanity's courage, strength, and intelligence echo where no being has dared to tread. Let them see what it means to face the impossible and survive. I nodded. Together, we rose from the ruins of battle, rising above broken fleets and shattered worlds. The Queen's wings unfolded, golden and radiant, energy spiraling around us in brilliant arcs. My plasma blade pulsed with newfound resonance, as if it had absorbed a fraction of the universe's awe. The stars themselves seemed to recognize us. They shifted slightly, as if bowing in acknowledgement of our survival. I felt the weight of the universe on my shoulders, the responsibility of what we had achieved. And yet, I was not afraid. Humans do not fear. We endure. We rise. Where do we go now? I asked. The Queen looked toward the far reaches of the void. Nebulae swirled with color beyond comprehension. Planets gleamed with life untold. Galaxies stretched infinitely, waiting to be explored, challenged, and reshaped. Wherever we choose, she said, we will chart our path. We will face threats no other being dares approach. And wherever we go, humanity will be remembered, for your kind is unstoppable. I looked at her, feeling the weight and the wonder of what we had accomplished together. Then let the universe tremble, I said, not in fear of what we take, but in respect for what humans endure. We do not falter, we do not break, and we do not surrender. The Queen's wings arched, sending current of energy spiraling into the void. Then let it tremble, she said, for it shall witness a force unlike any other. Humanity, and one human in particular, who chose the impossible and survived. I breathed deeply, feeling the weight of every trial, every danger, every impossible challenge. And I smiled, because humans endure, because we rise, because, in the darkest reaches of the universe, in the face of threats beyond imagination, we are unstoppable. Together, we soared through the void, wings and plasma blade glinting in the fractured light of dying stars. We were human and alien, partner and equal, survivors of trials that would crush gods and kings alike. And as we disappeared into the infinite darkness, a new legend began to form, one the universe would never forget. The legend of a human who chose the impossible, who faced the void, who endured every trial, survived every battle, and claimed the respect of an alien queen. The legend of humanity itself. We flew on, not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as proof that courage, intelligence, resilience, and audacity could defy the impossible. Proof that even in a universe full of ancient powers, alien threats, and cosmic horrors, humans endure. And the universe, in all its vastness, knew it, because we had survived, because we had risen, because humans always endure. The stars stretched endlessly before us, but I no longer feared the darkness. The Queen's hand tightened around mine. Her power was infinite, but so was our bond forged in fire, battle, and choice. We would face more challenges. We would face greater threats. We would face the impossible again and again. But I would not falter, and humanity would rise with me. For the first time, I truly understood what it meant to choose courage over fear, to choose strength over surrender, to choose the impossible. And I would do it again, because that is what humans do. And together, the Queen and I would carve a path through the universe, unbroken, undefeated, unforgettable. And the stars themselves would tell our story for eternity.